Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back with another Hong Kong content review, continuing on with the more dread, category-free, violent Hong Kong movies in the spirit of Three Extremes and Free. I talked about dumplings recently and I figured I'll top this up with Dream Home, directed by Edmund Peng Ho Chung, released in 2010, starring Josie Ho as our main leading actress, and also behind the production company 852, which is alongside of our husband, which is the director of the film as well. So this is a brand new company during the time. I wanted to kind of find some scripts and some edgy kind of material and do some risky projects, not just within Hong Kong, but international films as well. And they're behind Open Grave, which is a film that I haven't seen in a long time, but they're behind that film as well, alongside many other kind of indie, kind of strange, kind of peculiar kind of films outside of Hong Kong. And damn, Dream Home definitely is a bold, risky, adventurous, kind of a nasty category-free mainland China Hong Kong film from 2010. You say, what? I actually have seen this film already once, back when I was doing a bit of a deep dive into category-free quite some time ago. And I did actually quite enjoy the film, but I've always wanted to revisit this because, you know, I think it's always good to watch a film for the first time. You've got expectations going in, and it's a film that's always stuck in my mind. It's always been in the back of my mind. I thought I really wanted to revisit this in terms of what my thoughts would be now. Do I still like it the same? Do I like it more? Do I like it less? I was quite surprised to find the actual Blu-ray for this edition is long out of print and very, very expensive depending on where you look. This is going for about 80 to 100 pounds on eBay. But surprisingly, and to my rescue, CX, which is a UK trading company which has stock in PlayStations and DVDs and Blu-rays, they were selling it for about £12, which is pretty bonkers considering what it's going for in terms of eBay and so on and so forth. It's a long out of print edition done by Network Releasing, which Network Releasing in the UK was quite a decent distribution company. They had quite a few DVDs and Blu-rays, but they went bankrupt. I think they completely liquidated all their stock, I think a couple of years ago, and basically it was a case of get it while you still can, because once it's gone, it's gone. The licensing, I imagine, has been expired, and I imagine all their stock is gone. No one's reprinting these editions anymore. So basically, if you can find this at a reasonable price in the UK or anywhere else, definitely check it out. There is a German release as well, which has a really bonkers, really strange kind of artwork. Doesn't really fully represent the whole film. It is violent, not to say the least, but that artwork is just very strange. It doesn't quite accurately reflect on what's going on here. But that also is out of print. Very expensive, very hard access. But the UK Blu-ray is the one where to go for. There is a DVD, of course, which is a bit more easier access, but the Blu-ray has the HD presentation. And yeah, I managed to get this for a really bargain price in terms of the edition, and also includes a really nice little booklet, which I did appreciate. So it's kind of rare to see a kind of Hong Kong horror film done by anything else by Eureka, behind the scenes and some of the violent stuff, which I'll be very careful to show because some of the explicit imagery. But this gives you a little bit more of an insight into the what was inspired behind the script and what was going on during the time. And it is definitely not holding back, to say the least. And this is definitely still has the same effect on me when I first watched it. Very uncomfortable, very intense, vile, kind of just quick kind of situational moments from this character, what she ends up doing, and the things that she does to these people is quite horrific. And the fact that it is just innocent, just ordinary day people. It's not a revenge mission. It's not a cool serial killer in a hockey mask. It's just a person who wants a sea view of the town in this apartment complex. It is as simple as that. And the storyline for Dream Home follows Josie Ho as our main character. And one of the interesting things about this straight off the bat is that everything about this film, in terms of the poster, the tagline, the trailer, the introduction of the film, basically telling you the premise immediately. It's telling you what this film is about. We've got a character which is going to this apartment complex and killing a load of fucking people. About 11 people, I believe, 11 or 12 people in 2 different apartment kind of rooms from different floors. And basically she's killing all these people, these innocent people from different, women, men, one being pregnant, which is quite nasty, willing to do this with a tool belt. She's got a builder's tool belt with all sorts of nasty kind of things in it, in terms of a mallet and, screwdrivers, and she's using environmental objects, nasty things, to kind of get the job done, essentially. And she's showing zero remorse, barely flinches, and basically willing to do anything to basically kill these people for the apparent reason and the main reason for her desire and her twisted, fucked up reality is to get an apartment flat with a sea view, essentially. It even says on the tagline, I believe, she's willing to kill for a harbour view. And that is the premise of the film. Basically, to get a primary kind of piece of real estate, an apartment complex, a flat with a view, was very, very expensive. And the film dives into that head first. The film is telling the reason behind these actions, but why is she doing it? How has this person led to this moment in her life where she's willing to kill 11 people in nasty ways? And the film is gradually paced, showing previous scenes from her childhood all the way up to her job, her key moments and her part-time work, all leading up to this moment where she decides to snap and kill these people, essentially. And it is very gradually paced. It's really well placed together in terms of the pressures of her youth leading into her adulthood, essentially. And this kind of commentary about the housing crisis, about good, clean living and having somewhere to live and somewhere you want to belong. And the idea that she grew up in this apartment complex that was basically tryouts of being kind of worked alongside certain corporations to basically deliberately evict people and to try and get people to move deliberately so they can knock down these buildings so they can build a brand new apartment complex. Something that the walled-in Twilight the Warriors also dives into in terms of a massive kind of Twilight kind of building or construction, trying to knock it all down to kind of build these brand new buildings. Real estate view apartment, flat apartment with a sea view, with a harbour view. And that has been her dream since a little kid, leading into her 30s, which you show. She's got multiple part-time jobs, agents, essentially like a core agency, where she's giving out loans. That's her main job. She's got a part-time retail worker, and then another side hustle where she's basically acting as a prostitute, essentially, seeing a married man, getting some money from that situation, I believe, or using it to her advantage in one way or another. So she's basically really putting herself out there in terms of multiple different jobs to try and save enough money for her savings apartment view, which gets snatched from her through various different means, down to the kind of the market and the owners changing their mind. They're wanting 50% more, they're wanting double the money, being unreasonable, being unfair. And there's a sense of grounded relatability to her character when we understand her in terms of the pressure that she's faced her entire life. We've all faced some situation of poverty and being poor and trying to be in a situation where you can be better. And even in the UK right now, 2025, it is very, very hard to try and get a mortgage, to try and get a flat, to try and get a house. And people do end up renting, and renting is basically dead air money. It is just going and going and going into a point where the owner wants to sell up or wants to kick you out for a home you've potentially been in for like 5 to 6 years, potentially. It is extremely difficult even nowadays. And that leads into a domino effect of a point of no return for this character, going to the extreme of what she does in the film. And as mentioned, it is very gnarly, it's very nasty in terms of her violence, and all, again, sharp wood, knives, mallets, environmental bonk kills, very darkly comedic at times in terms of some of the situation that does happen. You can't help but laugh at times. It's very dark in that regard, and it's just brutal to say the least, but there is some understanding behind it. I do think this film is a bit of an anomaly and a bit of a strange kind of placed film for 2010, being the fact there aren't many other films like this. Granted, there are loads of other kind of Hong Kong and China-based kind of films, horror films, but I don't think I've seen a film quite to this extent since 2010. I could be mistaken on that. Please comment down below if there's any other mainstream post-2010 horror Hong Kong mainland China films that go the extra mile, go this level. So overall, Dreamhouse, I think, is a really gnarly, viral, ultra-violent film that definitely packs a lot of punch, is definitely not for the squeamish, very uncomfortable, has the right type of pacing in terms of how it wants to portray information, understanding of this character. The performance, I think, is really excellent by Amelia, the actress, and the supporting characters as well. Darkly comedic at times, definitely situational in terms of what she's going to do, and relentless, but also quite grounded, relatable. It's a bit of a slice and a cut of that category 3 goodness that is long overdue and long missing something like from Hong Kong. And it's a bit of a shame that, 15 years later, we haven't seen anything quite like this since then. So what are your thoughts and impressions on Dream Home? Please comment down below. Do you own one of the ultra rare Blu-ray editions in the UK? Do you own the German edition? Do you own the DVD? What are your thoughts and impressions? I'd love to know your opinions. Please comment down below. See you in time, guys. Amphlett Reviews, signing out.